good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, Atlanta Bird Gang. What's happening? What's happening? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, that was a good game. That was a good game. I could come here and be pissed off, but that was a good game. Exciting to watch. It was a thriller. Came down to pretty much the last play of the game. Unfortunately for us, the cookie did not crumble the way we would like it to crumble. But overall, hey man, it still was a good game. I like the effort the team put out today. I think for the most part, they left it all on the field. Playing in Washington, we was playing a very hot Washington team. They've been playing some good football lately. I think they have won. I think they're 5-1 coming into the game. 5-1 in their last 6 games. So they came in there on the road. We was playing on the road, of course, at their house. So I think overall we showed up. Just just couldn't make the key play at the key moment to secure the victory. In typical Falcons fashion, let me turn my phone on silent. Sorry. In typical Falcons fashion, we were there to the right there to the bitter end, and again, the cookie just didn't crumble the way we like it to crumble. Let's see. Let's do our shout outs. People checking in. Facebook user. Yeah. It's a tough one, Facebook user, but I think the squad played hard, man. I think they played hard and they fought to the end. David, what's up, bro? David says Arthur Smith brain farted this game away. I did not understand passing the ball down there at the goal line. I would have just stayed with my bread and butter for at least one more play. I think that was second down. I'd have ran the ball again, man. They were having it was late in the game. They were having a hard time stopping CP. They were having a very hard time slowing down Algier. I'd have kept running, man. I'd have kept running down there. Passing is definitely not our forte. So I didn't necessarily like that call when the ball was intercepted. I wish we'd continued to continue to run the ball. Eric Parker checking in. What's up, Eric? Art Smith needs to be on the high seat after that dumb call for a pass on second and goal. Why? Yeah, I definitely understand the frustration, Eric. I was frustrated by the call also, as I just mentioned to David. But we can't put him on the hot seat just yet, man. We can't put him on the hot seat just yet. But I certainly don't. I certainly didn't like the call. I just continued to run the ball, man. We had done a good job running the ball on that drive and got a little cute, man. Sometimes coaches can tend to outcoach themselves, and I don't think it was a very nice call right there. Norman checking in says I'm pissed off enough for you, bro, dumbass. What's up with you, Norm? We got our physical. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. They were definitely the more physical team for the vast majority of the game. They were definitely a more physical team than we were for the vast majority of the game. Especially their offensive line. They kind of beat us up with the offensive line. And I think a little bit over halfway through the game, probably midway through the third quarter, our defense kind of found their groove a little bit and started to slow them down, started to force some punts. But early in the game, they were just beating us up. They were just a lot more physical than we were early in the game. Yeah, you're definitely correct about that. Um, or Norman says, why are you throwing inside the five with 3 timeouts left? Run the ball. Arthur Smith messed this one up. Excuse my language. You all good, bro? You all good here? You all good? And yeah, Norman, I didn't understand that one, man. I thought I thought prior to that play call, he had called a good game. And we all know Mariota is not the most reliable passer, man. And even though he hasn't been heavily involved in the offense, you don't have Kyle Pitts there. Um, I just didn't understand the passing, man. Second down, bro. Like Make them stop your biggest strength. Our biggest strength is running the ball. Like I said before, we were starting to run the ball good during that last drive, and we decided to pass. Pass got tipped, got intercepted. So tough loss, tough loss. And I hate that we lost in that fashion too, because at one point it looked like they were trying to get us out of there fast, trying to blow us out. But in typical Falcons fashion in 2022, the team just don't quit. They keep fighting, and they don't give up. So I definitely give our guys credit for that, not giving up, continuing to fight, and staying in another game until the last second of the game. The run game was on fire. We pulled to Seattle. I don't know if Coach Smith got a little nervous or a little anxious because the first down play, I think we lost 2 yards on first down. So I don't know if that made him change his strategy going into second down, but it was like, Coach, man, hey, you know us, Coach. You know well as anybody else because this is the strategy you brought here in 2022. Run the ball till you can't stop us, man. I felt confident second, third, fourth down, we could run the ball in for a touchdown and win the game. I didn't understand the pass, man. We that's not our calling card in 2022. If you still had Matt Ryan back there, yeah, I might can understand a little bit then. But keep running, coach. Make them stop what you do best, man. Make them stop what you do best. I just didn't understand that. Sometimes coaches tend to get cute. Like I said, sometimes they tend to outcoach themselves, man. We had like 170 yards rushing, so make them stop us running the ball. Don't give them the opportunity to get out. And we gave them the opportunity to get out, which was real disappointing. Art Smith could have kept running the ball with Patterson, point blank, crazy ass call, shaking my damn head. Yeah, yes, sir. We definitely are all in agreement on that one. I didn't understand it, man. Does anybody have any logical explanation on why we did pass the ball there? I mean, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And when I saw Mariota step back to pass, I started thinking to myself, "Oh damn, here we go, here we go with the passing." And we had more rushing yards than we had passing yards. We had 167 rushing yards and 165 passing yards. So how that old saying go, y'all? Dance with the girl you brought to the party. However that old saying go. So tough loss, man. But like I say, guys, I like the fight the team put forth, man. It's just a shame that we had to lose in this nature, but I think for the most part, our guys left it on the field. Even during parts of the game where we were clearly being overmatched, out physical, we never folded, we never quit. And we were right there at the end, right there at the end and win the game. And we've lost like we're not 5-7, and we've lost like 3 games this season like that. Just games that we had right in our grasp, and we could not close the door and seal the victory. That part is frustrating, because like I said, we 5-7 right now, and when we very well could be probably about what 8-4, you know, 8-4, vying for a possible playoff bye. And now we're scratching and crawling our way out of the playoff race. So, and what happened in the Tampa Bay game? I think they were going to overtime. Maybe when I started this stream, what happened in the Tampa Bay game? Rusty Moore Jr. checking in on Facebook. What's happening, Rusty? 3 things in life that are guaranteed: taxes, death, and the Falcons will Falcon. Offense is too dependent on gadget RPO plays. Hope next year we can run a real NFL offense, not high school stuff. And I'm hoping next year also the quarterback position will be more secure. and that may be a hope that may not be fulfilled because I don't have like I understand who Mariota was. I was saying it all since we signed him. I understood who he was, but for the benefit of the team, I really would not want to go into next year with him as the starting quarterback because it would be much of the same. And even if they say, well, we'll hypothetically speaking, if they start Ritter, um, that would be almost essentially like his rookie season. So unless we just get absolutely lucky with him playing good football, you can't expect him to be like a super impact player at the quarterback position. Unless something happens, in free agency. I've heard people whisper Derek Carr. I've heard people whisper Tannehill. Of course, you got the Lamar Jackson whispers out there. So, or if they go draft somebody and have the draft pick and Ritter battle it out in training camp for the starting position. I don't know, but I'm hoping to have a lot more balance in this offense next year because when we need to pass, we got to be able to do a better job at passing when the time calls for it. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that this team can run the ball for 150 yards in their sleep. I love that. I know in years past that's been something that a lot of us have been wishing that we could run the ball like this. And now that we can't exactly pass the ball like we would like to. So I'm hoping that we can find some kind of medium, some kind of balance next year. And I think that's going to start at the quarterback position. But I don't know I don't know who's going to come out week one next year as our starter, man. That's gonna be something we're gonna have to just wait and see how things play out. You have 4 downs to get 5 yards. Great point. Great point. And this is and we are a elite running team. It's very and it's pretty much essentially factual to say that we are an elite running team. And we did the total opposite. We passed the ball on second down. Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. My guy Tyrell checking in. How you doing today, brother? Run the ball. Arthur Smith tried to be the smartest man in the room and outsmarted himself. Washington could not stop the run. Yep. Yes, sir. That's exactly what we've been saying. Somebody compared it to to the Seattle Super Bowl. And kind of a fair comparison. We all in agreement. Hey man, just run the ball. I think their defense was starting to wear down a little bit also. I ain't gonna say wear down a little bit. They were starting to wear down, and we let them off the hook. Like Dennis Green say, we let them off the hook. Just run the ball, man. It wasn't rocket science, man. Just continue to run the ball. Continue to run the ball. Facebook you said I wouldn't put him in a high seat. This team as far exceeded expectations. I'm thankful for that. Yeah, I don't think he's in a high seat either, man. It just wasn't the wisest call in that situation, but he's definitely not in a hot seat. Tyrell said defense needs to be addressed this offseason. Corner, linebacker, and pass rusher need to be a priority, even if they have to forego getting a quarterback. Totally agree. And also in the group, Tyrell, I was saying our linebacking core, man, our linebacking group, we got to address that in the offseason for sure. At best, y'all, I hate to say this, don't get upset at me, but at best, we have a slightly below average linebacking group. Um, there are times in a football game when you need your linebackers to be impact linebackers and just come up and make impact plays, even if the defensive line is getting handled. You know, there are times in football games where you just need your linebackers to be able to make impact plays and sometimes take over a football game. And unfortunately for us, we don't have anybody in our linebacking group that can do that right now. Um, Evans is a cagey veteran. He's a cagey veteran, but he's not he's not an impact linebacker. He's not gonna come up and make those impact plays. And the type of linebacker I'm talking about, where they gonna beat the guard, they gonna whoop the guard, they gonna whoop the tackle, and they gonna stop that running back from getting in that hole and getting any positive yards. And a lot of times they're gonna start getting tackles for loss. You know, clog the running lanes. We just don't have that on this team. You know, our linebackers, they'll flash in spots, but for the most part, none of them are consistently very good or great, and that hurts us a lot on defense. Walker, um, I like Walker, but at best he's a depth guy. At best, he's a strong. If this was the NBA, he'd be a six man. You know, Walker. Um, Troy Anderson. There have been games where I love what I saw from Troy, and there have been games when I'm like, Troy, that's just bad, bro. You gotta do better. Um, I'll say this about Troy, as we all know, he has crazy athleticism. He has potential. He has a lot of potential, but he also has a lot of things he has to work on. He has to work on shedding blocks, getting off blocks, and hopefully that'll come with time. But Troy has been like up and down this season. I've seen games where he's played terrible, and I've seen games that he's played very, very good. And he's a rookie, so I always say I can't come down too hard on rookies. So we just hopefully he'll turn the corner year 2, year 3, and hopefully he'll become that impact linebacker that I'm speaking about. But we don't have it right now. That may be target areas in the draft, maybe target areas in free agency as well. Like Tyrell says, corner also. Man, our corners, man, with the exception of AJ Terrell, what we have out there now is just not very good, man. These teams just love picking on Darren Hall, and shout out to Darren Hall, you know what I'm saying? But he just ain't it, man. They pick on Darren Hall, they run at Darren Hall, and you can tell he's just overmatched out there with talent. He just don't have the talent level. He don't have those basic NFL type instincts to just be the player um, that can make plays for you at the cornerback position. All these teams we've been playing these last few weeks, they're just targeting Darren Hall, Darren Hall, Darren Hall, Darren Hall. You can tell that that's part of their offensive game plan, their offensive scheme, where hey, we're just going to attack Darren Hall because we see they're already a weak defense, and he's the one of the weakest link on that defense. So we're going to continue to go at him. So with this 80, 90 million projected that we have going into the offseason next year, we need to spend a whole lot of that money on defense and draft good and draft heavy on defense as well. Facebook users, I was literally talking to the screen saying, "Don't pass, just run. Needed to run the time of the clock." And then yeah, man, I was the same way. Facebook users like, "Don't pass the ball, coach. Don't. Why? Oh, you passed." It just seemed like knowing this team and knowing how the game was played, it just seemed like you would know if you passed the ball, something bad probably was going to happen. And like coach, how don't you see that, man? Like it's just frustrating to lose a game like that. And that was a game that I almost want to say we deserved to win. But if I am being honest, they dominated the game more than we did. Um, Pound for pound, they were a more talented team than we are. I'm just being honest. I know we all Falcons fan, but pound for pound, they were more talented than we are, or they are more talented than we are. They controlled the game more than we did. They dominated the game more than we did. So it's really hard for me to say we deserve to win that game, but some of me do want to say we deserve to win that game, and I know that may not make a lot of sense, but it's just tough to lose a game in that fashion, man. It really is. Um, Facebook user says, I understand what people are saying, but if it wasn't for the tip, that's a TD, but they could have ran it and I would have been good with it as well. Yeah, and I get what you're saying also there, Facebook user also. But see, that's one of the things when you throw the ball though, because there are way more moving parts in a passing play at the goal line than there is running the ball at the goal line. The percentages are higher that something as bad is going to happen when you're passing the ball at the goal line as compared to running the ball at the goal line. And again, passing that's not our strength. You know, like I said, I could understand if we had Matt Ryan still back there or something like that, but we run the ball now. You know, we had more running yards this game than we had passing yards this game. So just continue dancing with the girl that you brought to the party, man. And take her home. You know, don't flip the switch once you get to the dance and try to find another girl. You know, stay with the girl that you brought there. Stay with the girl that got your back. And unfortunately, we deviated from that, and we paid a very costly price for it. We paid a very costly price for it. My dog DeAndre is in the building. What's up, DeAndre? How you doing? Says, how you doing? I'm doing great, brother. We threw the ball on second down with timeouts on 4-down territory. Yeah, DeAndre, what were we thinking, bro? What were we thinking, DeAndre? Out of hey, we trying to figure that out now. We trying to rationalize it and come up with some logic for it, but I don't understand it, man. I don't, you know, I guess coach was trying to be too cute, you know, um, out coach his own self, and I thought Arthur Smith had done a great job outside of that play. I think the scheme that we did was good. And now we were going against a front four who swear that front four they got to watch it. They ain't nothing to play with, man. And I think for the very most part, you know, we did a pretty good job against them. Granted, we only had 13 points, but that's just what the kind of game it was today. They only had 19. So it ain't like they came out there and put up 35 on us. They only had 19 at home. That's just how the game was played today. So to lose in that fashion, it's highly disappointing. Highly disappointing. Come on, Facebook user. Oh man, Facebook user says, I'm done with this coaching staff. Time for a new coach. Come on, Facebook user. You don't do that, Facebook user. Granted, coach didn't call the right play to go. He said, I'm done with the coaching. Oh boy, y'all to start wilding. DeAndre says Arthur is definitely earning his way on the hot seat. You just don't do that. But y'all ready to spar Arthur Smith today, man. Hey, I can dig it, man. I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. Although I don't think he in a hot seat, but I understand the frustration, man. Like DeAndre said, you just don't do that. Like there was no rhyme and reason to pass the ball on second down at the goal line. Coach, keep running the ball, man. They haven't been able to stop us, coach, running the ball, especially in that fourth quarter, man. We were tearing out runs on them. Algier was tearing out runs. CP came out there, hitting for 8, hitting for 10. Get on there, and we just, okay, let's throw the ball, you know. Throw the ball like we got a prolific passer back there or something. Okay. Facebook user this Facebook user here comes with a slightly different perspective. Says passing wasn't a bad call, but at least a run on the down and then throw. You got 2 more downs. Now that's something I can definitely go with. Because it's only second down. Honestly, Facebook user, you got second, third, and fourth down. So you got 3 more opportunities. Don't use that bullet in your gun unless you got to. Don't use that bullet in your gun unless you got to. What I mean by that is kind of like with Facebook users saying, okay, second down. Okay, I'm going to run it again. I got my timeouts. I ain't worrying about the clock running out. I'm going to run again on second down. Run again on third down. And if I still don't get it, okay, now you force me maybe to use that bullet in my gun. So on fourth down, if I feel like I got to, they're now dominating the line of scrimmage. I got to, like the passing play that we scored our first touchdown. That was something very creative. So if it comes down to fourth and goal at the 2, and I just feel like I can't. I have not been able to get the ball in the end zone running the ball on the first 3 downs, and it's now fourth down. I got to try something different. Okay, now I'm gonna pull out my passing plays. You know, the passing plays that I feel are my bread and butter when it comes to passing. I just feel like we showed our hand way too early when there was no need to. But y'all are killing Cole Smith. What's going on with you, William? William checking in from YouTube. William says, I'm done. I'm done, man. Arthur Smith is a dumbass coach. Why stop running the ball? Boy, y'all are giving Cole Smith hell. But you know what, William? Hey, bro, I agree. As far as why stop running the ball, I don't understand it, man. I just William, like I said before, I don't understand the rhyme and reason. I really don't understand the logic. We had timeouts, second down. We had been running the ball well. Like, why deviate from that? Why you trying to pass it? I like William. I was just as clueless as you were, bro. Just as clueless as you were as to why we decided to throw the ball. I didn't understand it. Didn't understand it. Chris Hill checking in, also from YouTube. Chris says, Coach pitched that one away, 4 yards, 3 chances. Makes zero sense to pass in that situation. I'm with you on that, Chris. Chris, we still trying to figure that one out, bro. We still trying. And you know what? Everybody who's commented, not one person has said that was a good play call, and we just didn't execute. It's like, come on, Coach. Like, it's not the same magnitude, but that's almost going back to the Super Bowl when Shanahan was throwing when he should have been running. It's like, just run the ball, bro. You got some studs back there too, and that's the thing, bro. You got CP, you got Algier, you got Huntley. Like, if you have to, hell, send Mariota on a bootleg and run it in. Clueless, man. Just I don't understand it. We none of us understand it, to be real. Tyrell said, I have been riding for Peas, but I have come to the conclusion Peas scheme does not fit today's NFL. Peas needs high end talent to make his scheme work, and that's not realistic anymore in the NFL. One thing about Peas, I haven't been the biggest proponent of Coach Peas, and I also have been saying that he doesn't have the high end talent, like you mentioned, Tyrell. In fact, he has very little talent on that side of the ball. I always say you take Grady Jarrett off that defense, AJ Terrell off that defense. You really don't have a defense, you know. So I be having mixed emotions and mixed feelings about Peas because I do understand that there's definitely a talent deficit there on the defensive side of the ball. We just don't have the playmakers. When a team can sit there and pick on Darren Hall like they pick on Darren Hall, and we ain't got nobody else to go to. You got Isaiah Oliver coming off the bench. Isaiah Oliver isn't good. Isaiah Oliver at best is slightly above average. It's just tough on him. And then as I mentioned, or as we talked about, also Tyra earlier, like our linebackers, we ain't got the linebackers that we need to make those plays to make teams think twice about running certain kind of plays at us. So it's tough. I wouldn't be surprised though if Pease retired again in the off season. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if he retired. If not, I am willing to at least give him one more year to see if we can build up a defense to help him out. Because since they've been here, all the first round picks, all the top 10 picks have been on the offensive side of the ball. So I am willing to give him at least one more year, or at least 6 more games into the 2023 campaign to see if he can turn this thing around. Hopefully he can, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he just decided to retire at the end of the year. My dog Billy Ray, what's going on with you, Billy Ray? How's it going today, bro? Smith play call is very questionable. However, we have overachieved expectations. I like the direction we're heading. Just ready to see Ritter to determine next season. What up, my boy? Yeah, I see you, Billy Ray. Yeah, a lot of us, or a lot of fans, are ready to see what we have in Ritter. And as I've been saying all year, I think once the Falcons, I shouldn't say it like that because then I'm being assumptive. If and when, if emphasis on the word if and when we get mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, then I'm sure we'll start seeing Desmond Ritter because I'm sure they want to evaluate him. Falcons want to evaluate him, so they would know what they need to do in the offseason next year, whether that be free agency, getting a quarterback, whether that be draft, getting a quarterback. So, if we do get mathematically eliminated, I'm sure we'll start to see Desmond Ritter get into the game. And with that said, I don't think Mariota played a bad game today. I don't think Coach Smith did him any favors on second down. I wish that ball wouldn't have been intercepted. And like somebody said just a moment ago, it did get tipped, but that's like, man, like, come on, man. Put Mariota in positions to succeed. It's fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter. He on the road. The crowd into the game. Don't. That's not what he does well. When it comes to passing. If you wanted Mariota to make a play, let him run the ball again. Like, I felt like Coach did a terrible job at putting his quarterback in a position to succeed, and that's one of the biggest components of being a good coach is putting your guys in position to succeed when the time calls for it. And unfortunately for Coach Smith, I think he failed the guys there um, during the goal line play calling. William says Terry about cut Arthur Smith next year. You think Terry gonna fire him, man? Man. Chris says heart drop when Mario step back. Yeah, man, hey. When I seen him stepping back doing his step backs, I said like, oh boy, here we go. He is coming. And as a Falcon fan, y'all know we've been through a lot. As a Falcons fan, your heart drop, you stop breathing for like 1.8 seconds, and you just sitting there like you got that look on your face, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and unfortunately, we all kind of knew what was coming, and it eventually came. Man, basically, was a dude trying to make Marcus Mariota look like the hero so he can look smart. So no Patterson or Algier, 5.8 yards carry all game. So now we going to Marcus Mariota on a keeper. Then let him throw when we need 2 yards, but average 5.8 yards per carry. I guess he didn't want to run too far or something. Hey, good point. Good point, man. Good point. Great point. Maybe he's trying to justify Mario to being a quarterback or what have you, instead of like, hey man, just get the ball to Algier, get the ball to pass. Hey, you could have brought Huntley in the game. Hey, anytime Huntley is in the game, I'm confident he gonna make something happen. I mean, we have three running backs on this team that are very capable to start. Patterson, Huntley, Algier. And anytime they get the ball, they make something happen, and you decide to throw the ball. Coach Smith, you just gotta be better than that, man. But y'all know that situational play calling, man, that's what determines the average coaches from the bad coaches, from the good coaches to the great coaches to the Hall of Fame coaches. Situational play calling. What are you gonna do when those lights get real, real, real bright? You know, we dropped the ball today. Cole Smith dropped the ball today. And I totally get why, people are I understand why people are calling for his head, because it would be different if we got down there and we ran the ball all 4 downs, or ran the ball for 3 downs and then passed the ball on fourth down and still didn't make it. Okay. At that point, you can kind of say, okay, we tried, tip your hat to Washington. They made a defensive stand when they needed to, but it don't, that's not what transpired. That's not what happened. And like I said, it just felt like Coach Smith did not put his players in position to succeed. He made, instead of playing to our weakness, we played. Excuse me. Instead of playing to our strengths, we played to our weakness, and that's not what you do as far as coaching goes. DeAndre said, "I say hot seat because how many games have we seen Arthur Smith make these stubborn ass play calling moves like why? Yeah, yeah, and you know what? You said a key word, stubborn. Um, Despite what happened today, I do like Arthur Smith. I like what he's doing, but he is stubborn. I can definitely agree on that, brother. He is definitely a stubborn coach. He's shown that, like you said, in play calling. He shows that a lot in his press conferences. You could tell he's just stubborn. He's very, very stubborn. Very, very, very stubborn. So you make a great, great point when you do say that. So let's see. Let's see. I'm so disappointed right now, but I think it's time we start Ritter because we're not going to beat Baltimore. That who we got. That's who we play next. Baltimore. I thought we played Pittsburgh next. All right, let me get. I'm sorry. If we can't throw the ball to our skilled players on the outside, and that's kind of what I was saying. That goes back a little bit to what I was saying with like what we're gonna do next year. Because like I know I'm looking ahead and we're talking ahead here, but like you draft Kyle Pitts at number 4, you draft Drake London at number 8. Like, hey, you gotta start using these guys, man. I think you can get away with it this year because of situations, because of trading Matt Ryan and just having to get this emergency quarterback on Mariota. But come next year, man, you gotta now make those picks make sense. Fontenot, Arthur Smith. Next year, you got to make Kyle Pitts make sense. It made sense with Matt Ryan, and it don't make sense this year because again of situations. But going forward, you got to make Drake London at number 8. It got to make sense next year. It's cool this year. We get it. Transition year, rebuilding year. All right, cool. Vegas said we weren't gonna win but 4.5 games this year anyway. So cool. So it's cool. But next year, it's not gonna be cool. Because if you draft 2 pass catchers in the top 10, one in the top 5, and you turn them into blockers, then I hate to say it, that's incompetent leadership at the top. That means Fontenot, you failed. That means Arthur Smith, you failed. Because if this is the scheme, or if y'all can't scheme them guys in the game, drafting them that high, it don't make sense. And that's nothing against them because I think they're both phenomenal talents, but you can't turn them into blockers. And I've spoken this before. I know a lot of people they started to get on Pitts a good bit these last few weeks, but he's a phenomenal player in the right situation. Drake London will be a phenomenal rookie in the right situation. And right now this is not the ideal situation. So um that's something we got to fix and that's something we got to work on. Also, y'all, I'm about to drop a link uh, in the YouTube chat. So if anybody watching on YouTube want to come in and rap and talk and speak your mind on the game, just click that link. You're more than welcome to come on and join the show. And give me a moment. I'll also drop the link in the Facebook chat as well. Eric coming to TV. How you doing today, bro? Says fire Arthur Smith. That was the worst call of the year. So everybody say awful with his head, man. Arthur Smith catching some hell from the fan base. But you know that is warranted, Eric Company. And I'm interested to see how he responds in the press conference. Has anybody had a chance to watch the press conference? Because I know they're gonna ask Arthur about it. And he normally gets kind of rattled and stubborn and pissed off when they challenge his play calling or his coaching. So I'm real interested to see how he will respond to that. I'm very interested to see. All right, we got somebody gonna come on and join us real quick. I'm gonna bring them on. somebody coming in from YouTube. We have Damien coming in. How's it going today, Damien?
It's good. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm doing great, bro. Doing great. What do you think about the game today? Give it to us, bro.
Well, I got the from Arthur Smith gave me the Mike Smith vibes today. I started feeling like we got Mike Smith again or something as coach, and it's just like the none of us is professional coaches, but anybody who watch football know to run that ball,
Hmm.
just pound it. And just like you said, we still had Matt Ryan. I can understand trying to throw the ball down there. But Lord have mercy, I'm so sick of the Falcons. I get my joy from the Georgia Bulldog.
Hey, man. Hey, I be saying all the time to like my friends on my Facebook page. I say, man, I have a turn up. I be lit on Saturdays, and then Sundays the Falcons bring me down to depression. So I be from
Yeah,
one
it just
extreme to the other.
yeah, I be sad soon Sunday come. I already know what's gonna happen almost. But I heard one of your followers say earlier, we are doing better than I expected when the season started. I ain't expect nothing really, but they do compete every game. I can give them that they compete.
Right, right. So we when you agree, even though like even though we all feeling some kind of way because we know that was old bullshit play call for Arthur Smith, but being that we compete in every game, we be in every game, like do you think that says a lot about the team? And even though he ain't our best friend right now, do you think that reflects good on Arthur Smith?
Yeah, I think he building something. I really feel like he building something. I like the direction it's going because just like I said, I ain't expect nothing from the Falcons this year. Not even a little excitement, but they give me a little excitement and a little stress.
Right, you got to take them with both of them, and they have been exciting, man. I do got to give us credit for that, man. We have been exciting to watch this year, so that is another thing. And let me ask you this, Damien. What was your preseason record for the Falcons? Because you say you didn't expect them to do this good. So before the season started, what record did you have was going?
I would give us 7 wins at the most. Yeah,
Mm.
that's at the most.
Yeah, we got our I don't know if you're in our Facebook group, but we got a Facebook group we all talk in every day. And that was my exact prediction, bro. I said 7-10. So I'm sticking to it. I ain't deviated from it all year, so I'm gonna stick to it at 7-10.
So we basically gonna win what 2 more games.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna stick to my prediction. So yeah, I say about two more games. What we 5-7 right now. We still got to play Tampa. Still got to play Baltimore. And honestly, man, even though they don't look great this year, we still got to play the Steelers. And the Steelers normally just whoop our ass, man. They normally
Man,
whoop our ass.
yeah, Baltimore don't look that good. They struggle with Jacksonville today.
Oh,
I
they
don't
ain't.
even know. I don't know if they won that game at 10-12.
The score was 10-12.
Yeah, by in the fourth quarter, Baltimore ain't playing too good.
Damn, that's crazy. Give me just a second, Damien. We're gonna bring somebody else on. Bring one of my good brothers on who I always talk football with all the time. My boy David Starks. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Not
Um,
much, David.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here, yeah, okay. We talked about it. That was just one of the dumbest calls ever by Arthur Smith, and that's all well, fine and good. But the fighting stuff, that's all emotion. Okay, but here's my thing too. Here, you know Mariota can't be trusted.
Right.
You understand Mariota cannot be trusted, or you wouldn't have replaced him in Tennessee. Now you put the ball in his hands, and yeah, Deron Payne made a play, but you shouldn't have put the ball in his hands in the first place because you
Right.
know that dude cannot be trusted. And here's another thing. Here's another thing. Everybody's saying that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying, he played a decent game or whatever. Okay, I give you that much, but he didn't make some important plays in that. He did not make some important plays. That first 3 and out we had, He missed OZ wide open at the sticks. Wide open at the sticks. And then there was the great catch by Drake.
Yeah,
that
deep
saved
ball.
that first and 25 drop. That first and 25. You can't trust. You can't trust this dude. So why put the ball in his hands?
In pressure situations, that's what get me. I'm not. It's not as bad if you do that in the second quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
But in pressure situations, like that's not Mariota, man. Mariota is not clutch. He's a game manager. Like, you put too much pressure on that guy in that situation, man, and it was not necessary.
And my thing with Arthur Smith, you know this because you replaced him in Tennessee.
Thank you.
You know this
for Tannehill, and you replaced him because you said he was inconsistent.
Exactly. You know this. And another thing, Toddy, like you said, this defense. My goodness. Toddy, I said this in the chat today. Our back end's gonna never look good until we get this consistent pass rush. It has to be addressed this offseason.
Right.
I'm sick and tired of watching quarterbacks sit back, eat hot dogs all day, and then get ready to throw the dang ball.
What do you think that starts at? Like, free agency, we're gonna have 80 to 90 million. So where do we start at?
Well, we start on the ends right now. We start on the end. We start on the ends. I think Evan is going to be okay.
Yeah, I like him. I'm ready to give him more playing time. Okay.
Yeah, but the problem is he's gonna need a running mate, or the Lions just gonna slide protection to him.
Where you at with the linebackers? I spoke about that today. What's your thoughts there?
Like, I like Troy, but Troy's a rookie. That's the problem. I like Troy, but Michael Walker. We might soon as his contract up, we might need to be talking about, letting him go in free agency, or maybe at next year's trade deadline, try and get something for him. But I am tired of watching him get run over, Tiger. I'm sick of watching him get run over.
David, I agree with you on that. And the thing about it, like, I don't think he's like trash. We like to call players trash. I don't classify him as trash, but he's just not that talent that's going to take your defense to the next level. And at this point, we got to get people that's going to take us to the next level. And Walker's just not that guy. Now, if we keep him, if he love Atlanta so much, kind of like Cordero Patterson did, if he want to sign him for a much less contract than his perceived market value and want to just be a depth guy, you the third, fourth linebacker on the depth chart. Okay, cool. I take the depth, but he can't be the starter going forward past this season, I don't think.
Exactly. And but like you said, and that's why I've been telling y'all, Joey Porter Jr. in this year's draft. I'm sorry, but now I'd love to get Keeley. But he won't. Where we're gonna be drafting now, I just don't think he's gonna be there.
I don't think he's gonna be there either. And I definitely think we need to get some corners early, but I'd be so like sometimes misguided and confused with this team because I'd be like, okay, we got to get some cornerbacks probably in the first, second round. But then I'll be thinking too, like, well, shit, what's the good use getting corners and we can't never rush the pass? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
I'd be so confused with these boys, man. So I don't know. And I guess once we get to free agency, a lot of that money that we have going into 2023, we'll be able to spend there as well. But we got to fix this defense, bro. We got to, man.
It's a must.
Got to fix the defense. So go ahead.
And my thing about and Arthur Smith, another thing about him, it seemed like he had that goddamn brain fart. He had at least 1 or 2 brain farts every game.
Well, you know, when Damon came on, he said he reminded him of Mike Smith. That was a Mike Smith call now.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a Mike Smith call.
That was definitely a Mike Smith call. So let me ask you this, David. Speaking of Coach Arthur Smith, like, what's your comfort level, or maybe what's your opinion on him after almost 2 full seasons? Where are you sitting at with him right now?
On the scale of 1 to 10, tight, I'm about at a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, I'm at about
pretty good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm okay with him because, you know, I guess he's still, you know, he's doing a great job with what we got right now.
Right.
He's doing a great job because if you think about it, Tidy, we're 4th in rushing, with I think 7th or 8th in explosive plays, with basically a journeyman quarterback, a return specialist, a 5th round pick, and an undrafted free agent at running back, and a bottom-ranked defense. And we had 5 and 7. So that's the reason I'm not gonna get all emotional with him.
And I can feel you on that also. He, like somebody else said, it might have been you or somebody in the chat, but somebody just said he had a brain fart, which he definitely did. There was no reason at that point in time to pass that ball. Facebook user says right here, says, Toddy says recently that some people would rather lose pretty than win ugly. I feel like passing at the end instead of running was attempting to win pretty. We should have just went with the run. And I agree with that 3,000%.
I do. Yeah.
3,000%.
Yeah. Yeah, like somebody else said, you're trying to justify Mariota.
Yeah,
you know what this dude is.
Yeah.
When you know what this dude is.
Right. And I just keep saying, David, like, that's a pressure moment, bro. Like, he ain't built for that. If you got Tom Brady and Mahomes, hey, I'm cool, bro.
Okay, fine.
They built for that.
Fine. And if they fail in that moment, fine.
Fine. You live with that. Because you know they built for that. They've shown that they got that ice in their veins. Even Aaron Rodgers, you know, he ain't playing his best right now, but I'll be cool with that if A-Rod is the QB. But that's pressure bust pipes, man. Like, you don't put all that pressure on your quarterback in that situation when you know deep down he would rather just hand the ball off, you know?
Exactly. I'm still like you say, I'm still confused and wondering about that play call myself, and just don't and right about now I'm just choking it up to that one Arthur Smith brain fart per game, and we get one a game, type.
Yeah, we get one.
We get one a game.
Sometimes you're gonna get 2.
Yeah, sometimes you do get 2.
All right, our guy John Harris says, I don't mind passing down there, but throwing that pass, no. What do you mean when you say that pass, John? And now, John, like, you might be the only person that says you don't mind that pass right there. Everybody else wanting to run the ball. So, John, you got to explain yourself on that one, John Harris.
But like you said, Tidy, don't throw the ball unless you necessarily have to. Unless you get stuffed on 2nd and 3rd down. Then you want to throw the ball.
Right. And even then, you call a timeout and think about it. You know,
you drop your best misdirection play.
Right. You call the timeout and you talk to Mariota and you look in his eyes. You know, like what's going on? How you feeling? And
exactly.
real quick, David, let's bring our guy on John Harris because we need him to explain why he say he don't mind passing the ball. So you got the floor, John.
Good evening, good afternoon, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
I don't mind passing down there, but you saw the last part of that sentence. But throwing that pass, no, not there. If you're gonna throw a pass, you make it to where either the receiver gets it or nobody gets it. Okay.
So what you saying, John? So So what you're saying, John, is something to the boundary, something to the boundary pylons.
Yeah, some to the pylons or whatever. But do you remember that first touchdown we threw today? That was beautiful.
It was.
Yeah, beautiful misdirection.
That might have been our best play design since Arthur Smith been here.
Man, I just had to take a sip just for that one because that was beautiful, man. But thing about this, and then there are people complaining about the defense today. Man, let me tell you something. You held them to 19 points. You held them to 19 points. Now, I don't care if them jokers had 5,500 yards passing and 8,300 yards rushing. They didn't score. That's the biggest number on the scoreboard is the scope. How many yards they have and all of that type of stuff. I don't care nothing about it. And that's just me. That's just me. Long as you keep them out of the end zone. And the defense gave us many opportunities to score ourselves. We had enough opportunities to win this game. Now with my prediction of 4-14, okay, y'all already beat me. Hey, all this is gravy for me. All of this is gravy for me now. Since 4-14 is gone, and I think we tied with Tampa Bay again because they lost to Cleveland today.
Well, we're still a game back because we don't lost to them in the division.
Yeah, they got tiebreaker.
They got the tiebreaker if they make it.
Yeah.
It's not an assured. It's not a definite that they're going to make it. But I'm going to say this. I didn't expect them to go to the playoffs this year. I didn't expect the Falcons to go to the playoffs this year. If they make it, fine. If they don't, I'm not going to be that upset about it because, see, we rebuilding. We playing with house money right now. But that runs out real quick next year. That runs out real quick next year.
Well, hold on now, John. What do you mean when you say it runs out next year? Explain that to us, please, just so we understand what you're saying.
With the way that the money that we're supposed to get, and I got to kind of modify that comment because if we are going to replace everything that we're saying that we need to replace, those people that we're going to replace them with, that's going to be the first year in this system. Linebackers, linemen, cornerbacks, especially you, tight. I heard you. I saw you hollering about them cornerbacks earlier today, and hey man, they were just like a piece of toilet tissue used and flushed.
Yeah, especially your boy Darren Hall.
Yeah. So if you're going to draft all new people, they're going to have to go through this baptism. They're going to have to go through this baptism. Oh, and something today. If anybody recorded the game, did you see that? They had what's his name playing left tackle?
Who?
Matthews.
That's a normal position.
They had Matthews.
Yeah, Jake normally left tackle.
I'm calling the wrong. Guard. He was inside. They had somebody outside of him today on a couple of plays.
Jake was playing guard today?
Yep.
So who was at the left? The tackle.
Who was that number 46 we got?
That's fullback Hesse.
Yeah,
that's the fullback Hesse. The tight end Hesse.
They had, man, look here.
Are you sure you just want to see him covered up by Hesse?
Yeah, that might have been what it was.
John started drinking early on Sundays now.
Hey, man, like I told, right before that last play, I told everybody to take a sip at the 2-minute warning. And that's what I did. I took me a sip because, see, man, I knew it was either going to be real good or it was going to be kind of like what it worked out to be. A big mess, and a big controversy. But hey, man.
John, let me ask you a real quick question, if I may interrupt you. All right. Just ask David, like, where he at with Arthur Smith after almost 2 full seasons. He said on a scale of 1 to 10, he give him a 7. So let's play like we doing the approval ratings. Like all the news networks do for the president. You know, they give them the approval ratings throughout their terms, right? So if you were giving Arthur Smith an approval rating after 12 games in his second season, what would your approval percentage be on the scale of 0 to 100, John?
As a what? Head coach or offensive coordinator?
Good. Let's.
Because see, now he's running one side of the ball now.
Well, let's say head coach, and if you want to bridge an umbrella on that as offensive coordinator, go ahead.
Head coach, I'd have to give him a 7. Head coach.
Okay. So y'all on the same boat. So
I mean, he's taken. Look, like we've said many times. Man, this joker done went and shopped at every discount mall, Dollar General, and everywhere, and then put a team together. Has put a team together and look way better than what I thought they were going to look like. You know? And
True.
today, okay, and I kind of have to mix the offensive coordinator portion in there because today, when Washington wanted to play smash mouth football, we came back and played smash mouth football.
Back with them.
Yeah, and I like that part of it.
Right back with them.
Right back with them. You know, it wasn't like their defensive line was just coming back in, you know, just dominating everybody. Man, we were knocking people off, and I think we had more yardage per carry than they did, didn't we? But yeah.
Well, we were around about at 7. They were about 5 and change.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like I said earlier, man, it was just a joy to see Falcons pushing the pile instead of other teams pushing us. Man, I mean, we were pushing it.
Okay, so let me ask both of y'all this, since we kind of doing a little head coaching analysis. So, hypothetically speaking, of course, being all Falcons fans, we hope we finish strong. But hypothetically speaking, let's say we finish with a losing record. We don't make the playoffs. Now, you both just said you got on a scale of 1 to 10, you say Coach Smith is about a 7. So let's say we don't make the playoffs. We finish with a losing season. I want you both to answer this question for me. Going into year 3, what would your expectations be for Arthur Smith and his team going into year 3 if we don't make the playoffs this season? And I'm asking that question to both of you, and either one of you are free to answer first.
Okay. I'm gonna give him 9 and 8, 10 and 7.
So no matter what, he got to win next
year.
Yeah,
he's got to have a winning record because, as we've discussed before, even Mike Smith and Dan Quinn had win records in year 2. So this will be year 3 for him. He's got to win football games. He's got to learn this team how to close these close games. Because that's our major problem right there. Like you say, Toddy, right now we should be 8-4.
Yeah.
We should be 8-4 right now. But we have not learned to close close games. You will still have some of these youngsters still on their rookie deals. You'll have money to improve this defense, and you have a boatload of picks. And I think Fontenot's proved that he knows what he's doing with these picks. I like our draft class. So he's got. I'm not gonna sit up here and say win the division, but 9 and 8, 10 and 7. He's got to have a winning record next year.
And John, before you answer, let me give y'all some ironic piece of Falcons history. At least under Arthur Blank's ownership of the Falcons, every coach that he's ever had, at least in year 2, they've had a winning record. Believe it or not, every single coach he's had, they've had a winning record at least in year 2 of their tenure. But go ahead, John.
And now, since you said that, I've got to caveat a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, when Mike Smith came here, did we have to do a full rebuild in 2008?
Did we have to do a full rebuild in 08?
Yeah, because see, there were two notable pieces that we got in 08. Michael Turner and Matt Ryan. Those are two notable pieces. But did we have to do a full rebuild of the offensive line, the defensive line?
Remember also, John, we went back up in the first round to get Sam Baker.
Man,
yeah, that's right. We got pterodactyl on.
You know what, John? I'm gonna go out on the limb, John. I'm gonna say we did a full rebuild in 08. I'm gonna tell you why I say that, John.
Mm-hmm.
Got a new head coach. You got a new general manager. And you know, I always say, John, it ain't a rebuild unless you get a new what?
New quarterback.
We got a new quarterback. To me, that's a full rebuild.
Okay. What about when we got Dan Quinn?
You said
no, we didn't have to rebuild.
You did what? Now, since your caveat is a quarterback, and like I said, we agree, that wasn't a full rebuild when Quinn took over. That was just a change of philosophy.
I agree.
Okay. Now, we are now in year 2 of the full rebuild since we got, year 1 of the full rebuild, since the quarterback is the pivotal piece that determines whether a full rebuild is taking place. Now, we're in year 1. When we get this money and we go and we can stop shopping at Dollar General, getting that moldy bread and them old and we can go to Walmart where they just dropped the cookies off last night, and the apple juice ain't stale. We're going to have to integrate those people to replace the people that we've been making do with, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in doing that, can you really expect a real big jump? That's why I'm gonna be with 8-8 at the very best, 7-9, because see, thing is that when you're adding necessary pieces like this, it could go either way. Man, you might catch just like we did in 2008, or more importantly, what we did in 2016 in the second year of Dan Quinn's tenure. We went to the Super Bowl in that second year. Okay, so to be safe, I'm gonna stay at 8-8 or something like that. I'm not gonna put playoff expectations on. You know, there's still a lot of teaching that needs to go on with this team. Son, hold on to the ball. Son, hold on to my ball now, son. Don't fumble my ball. Don't do too much. Stay within yourself. And then, you know, there were people talking about that the head coach needed to grow with the team. Man, what kind of stupid? You're the head coach. The man is the head coach. He's supposed to have the vision. You're supposed to follow his vision. Okay, he's going to grow, but this growing with the team, it's just like you're placing him in the same level as the team. You know, the head coach is supposed to provide vision. And as cranky and cantankerous as Arthur Smith is, I kind of like the guy. I really do.
Yeah. I like that about him too. He just got that quirkiness to him.
Definitely. But let me ask you a question here. And me and my brother were talking about this just a couple minutes ago. Do y'all think Arthur Smith need to give up play calling?
Go ahead, John.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, Ty. You just
that was Magic Johnson assistant, Kareem. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cap.
Nobody can call. Now, see, this is Arthur Smith's offense. This is his offense. Okay. Now, to your point, your offensive coordinator ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. Can you trust your offensive coordinator to call what you want him to call? Because this is Arthur Smith's offense now. And I haven't seen many things that I have a problem with as far as his play calling. Now, the execution will make play calling look bad. If people don't execute, it makes your play calling look bad. So, I'm gonna have to put some thyme and a little clover into that soup and marinate on that one for a minute, because yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one, because like I said, I don't really see it a big problem. It's just that they don't execute. It's just that they don't execute, man. Not to where I can feel comfortable saying, "Hey, Arthur Smith, get out the way." Tidy.
You know what? At this point, I'm going to say no, he should not. And I say that because for us who have Mariota, and I hate to bring him up so much because it seems like I be coming down on him, but a guy who was benched and then hadn't really started in 3 years, for us to have a quarterback of that tier, he really hasn't had an opportunity to show what he can do with an open playbook. Because as long as Mariota is started, the playbook is going to be somewhat limited. Mm-hmm. Now, if we get a capable quarterback who can open up that playbook and the offense remains problematic, then at that point I would probably be more open to changing my mind and saying getting the offensive coordinator. But at this point, I say let him do his thing. I don't mind an offensive coordinator. I don't mind a head coach calling his own plays, being totally in control, because then he got to fall on the sword no matter what. No matter what, you got to fall on the sword. You can't pass no blame. So at this point, I'm okay with it. I'm cool with him calling his own plays. I don't think he's a bad play caller per se. Situational play calling can be better. Case in point today, second year head coach, you learn from that, and I hope he gets better at it. So I'm gonna say no as of right now today.
And that was my point to my brother. I said the same thing. I said basically the same thing. You said my brother. You said title to my brother, but I added the caveat yet.
Yet, right, and that's what I said too. Yet.
Okay, now if I can say this.
Go ahead.
All right, now Tidy, you brought up the fact that or you said that Mariota is operating with a limited playbook. Now, I looking at what they were doing in Tennessee, that's why I bring up Tennessee all the time. And there was something that I wanted to clarify for you, because I was looking, you had brought some stats up, and your stats were absolutely correct about what Mariota did versus what Tannehill did in Tennessee. And the chart that I put up was what Mariota was doing here this year and what Tannehill was doing in Tennessee this year. And that's where the comparability came in, as far as the play calls and the yardage that they were throwing for and all of that. Now, knowing that Tennessee heavily relies upon the run, when Arthur Smith came this year, and in discussions with you and various other people talking about, okay, can we run? Because we need to run. We don't have Matt Ryan anymore. We're going to have to rely on the run. I had doubts. I had doubts at the beginning of the year because of what I saw last year. And what I saw last year with McGarry and Lindstrom and Hennessy at the center and all that, we looked like, man, look, we look horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Blocking.
But after seeing that first game this year of something that he never showed in preseason, okay, the way that we came out that first game against New Orleans, running all over them like they weren't even out there, the way that the line was getting mixed up, and you moving McGarry from right in all the way over to the other side. I said, oh, whoa, look at that. What? You know, they surprised me. And in doing that, you keep Mariota out of trouble, to your point, by limiting what he has to do. You're not putting game-winning pressure on him, even though, you know, sometimes game-winning pressure just comes because of what you didn't do in the beginning of the game.
Right.
And I'm kind of thinking, and it's going to be the same thing if Ritter ever gets in there. If Ritter gets in there, they're going to have to kind of protect him too by not requiring him to do a whole bunch of stuff, even though his toolkit might be a little bit better than Mariota's, if y'all understand what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Repertoire.
I got you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, you know, you can't throw him out there like a first-round draft pick. Well, then again, you can't throw a first-round draft pick out there, you know, with the whole playbook and the whole toolkit. And, you know, Joker need a socket wrench and he get a doggone screwdriver. No, son.
Asking too much of him.
Yeah. But thing is, if you guys want that type of win total y'all talking about next year, that playbook or that leeway is going to have to expand.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree, and that's why I was saying. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
And that's my total expectation of Coach Smith next year, to expand this playbook.
You know, and see, to Mariota's in Mariota's defense, man, one thing that I'm always a fan of: quarterback, put it on the receiver, get it off of you, get the responsibility off of you, put it on the receiver, put it in his hands or put it in the vicinity. You drop that. You didn't get that. Get it out your hand. And see, something that Mariota is doing, Mariota is sitting up there, man, he not as bad as Ryan, because Ryan will make a pan full of biscuits just standing there. But Mariota, he'll come up and he'll look and clutch and won't throw the ball. Now, see, thing is that sometimes you got to, and this just me. Sometimes you have to do that to see what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do that. You put it on the receiver, or put it in a spot where he can get it, so you can see what it is that you can't do. And you can't stare at it. You can't watch him. You know, but man is doing that.
But John, think about what he did at Oregon. He think about what he did at Oregon. Think about what he did his couple years in Tennessee. He couldn't anticipate that. He had to see it open before he threw.
Right.
He couldn't anticipate that. He couldn't anticipate that throw.
You're right. That's why you're supposed to have a quarterback coach that can teach you stuff like that.
John, I was it's funny you said that, John. I was listening to your boy Chuckery just last night, your homeboy, and they got I think it's called Locked on Atlanta podcast. They said the same thing, that it's a mistake having I think the quarterback coach now was a former wide receiver, I think, something like that.
Running back. Look, the man has running back up and down his resume.
Right. And they were saying from phase one, that's a mistake. And they were saying going into next year, if you're really gonna develop Ritter into be a real good quarterback, you gotta get him a quarterback as a quarterback coach. I might have to send you that link, John. And as soon as I said it, I said, "Boy, John Harris will go crazy." He heard this.
But see, but man,
my thing is this here. Here's my thing. You got Ragone on the staff, who is an NFL quarterback. Why isn't he coaching the quarterbacks?
He the offensive coordinator.
He's the offensive coordinator. Title.
But you know what, y'all? I be so confused with that. Like, if you're the offensive coordinator, but the head coach called the plays, like, what are you coordinating? I don't understand it.
He coordinates towels. He coordinating towels.
Okay. In today's NFL, to his defense, I mean, Andy's still calling the plays in Kansas City. Sean McVay's calling the plays in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's just where the game is gone now. The head coach, the mostly offensive head coaches, are calling the offensive plays, and the defensive head coaches are calling the defensive sets. And I guess that's just where the game's going. Because, you know, we grew up in the era where the head coach was basically a figurehead and guided all of that.
Yeah, you're right. You sure right there.
But see, this is the problem. You just drafted a quarterback. Okay. Now, that would work with an established quarterback. Okay. That would work with a veteran. Because see now, you know, there are only a few things that you need to tell a veteran about various things, how not to watch persons and how to throw this type of pass and what you do in these certain situations, you know, stuff like that. But when you got a rookie, plus you got a quarterback that has not started in 2 years, you basically got two rookies. And those people need to be taught. Now, Desmond Ridder is going to have to go to a quarterback camp this offseason. He got to go because he ain't learned nothing from nobody that can teach him anything. Okay, now and just like you said, my man, all right. This is turning into, well, Charles London was a friend of mine on the staff when I was up there in Tennessee. I'm gonna give him a job. Come on down here, Charles. I'm gonna name you quarterback coach or whatever. With a rookie quarterback, you can't have no dead wood on your sidelines trying to teach this man anything. Because see, I mean, oh boy, I mean it's just ludicrous. Because see, me, say for instance, and I'm just gonna put it in regular workman's terms. Say for instance, I'm hiring for a company. I need somebody with IT experience. I need somebody that can speak 3 languages. I need somebody blah, 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 blah. I look at your resume, and if you don't have that on your resume, I can't hire you. Now, I'm going to tell the boss, look, boss, I got 2 candidates here. I got one with everything you want. And then I got your brother-in-law.
Seriously, there's gotta
what you gonna do? I'm gonna tell him, look, I'm out of it. If you hire your brother-in-law, I'm out of it. You know, because see, thing is, you went with this person. As unqualified as he is, you went with that person. So when the big axe comes down because your sales figures or your productivity isn't where it's supposed to be, HR, why did you hire that man? I don't know. No. You need to talk to him. Yeah, you need to talk to him. Yeah. Who did you recommend him? I put it right in front of him. Qualified brother-in-law. I'm done. You know, I might lose my job. Joker might find a way to get me fired or have me disappeared someplace. But, you know, the question get asked, look, man, you did that. And that's what this smells like. This smells like that. Because, see, man, look, you need somebody qualified to teach Ridder. Qualified, man. Come on.
All right, y'all. We got a question from Damian Stewart. Says, would you take Aaron Rodgers in free agency to try and make a run, short-term fix? We got weapons. What do y'all think? Yes or no?
Nope. No, sir. We just got off one old expensive quarterback. Don't want another one in here, especially one that does not take accountability. I'm sorry, he does not take accountability. When he screws up, it's on everybody else. Nope. Aaron does not fit our culture. As talented as he is, he does not fit our culture. And you talking about making a run? That dude is barely 500 in the playoffs right now. So that's a no for me.
John?
He's not gonna get along with Arthur Smith.
You right.
He ain't get along with Arthur Smith. No,
they gonna butt heads every day.
Yeah, man. Shoot,
All
them
day.
fighting at the 50-yard line, and I'm taking bets right now. I'm taking bets right now. Them took a live to get into it on the 50-yard line because see, I remember when he went to Green Bay, and there was a debate as to whether he was going to be able to audible. And Aaron Rodgers is one of those types of people that, you know, when you carry that ring, and you have talent, you know, it's kind of hard to rein in. And like you said, with the playoff failures and things of that sort, now I would still say no. I have to go along with you guys. I'd have to say no. It looks good, it smells good, but no, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna be.
The only way that I would my answer is no, and this is the only way I would say yeah. If we had a top 14, 15 defense right now today, I would do it. Because then at that point, you pretty much already got your defense in play, and you ain't got to go spend no money in the offseason on the defense. But when your defense ranked 26, 27, 28, you got more pressing needs.
Yeah.
So it's a no for me. But if the defense was already there, I say do it. Because then we kind of in the position like Tampa Bay was when Brady came. Because you put Aaron Rodgers on this offense, we'd be a problem. But we just ain't got a defense. We got to use that money on defense at this point.
Here's my thing, Tidy. Green Bay's had a top 10 defense the past couple years here. And Aaron Rodgers is that classic, what we call back in the day a strobe light honey. She looked good in the dark. But when the playoff lights come on, you like, boy, oh boy, what have I got myself into?
That's true. That's true. My only retort to that would be, I'm looking at how the offense is built. You can run the ball, so you really ain't got to lean on Aaron so much to win games on himself. You can start running the ball, and then like when you have to pass, he's definitely good enough to pass the ball. So that's why I say if the defense was already in place, yeah, I would do it. You know, you gonna have to mess with that contract for about 2 more seasons. I would do it, but not with our defense. We just got too much. We got to work on defense.
Yeah.
Well, I tied it now. Okay, let me throw this in there. Now we were about to do the same thing with Deshaun Watson.
Right, but this is the difference though. 25 years old, 39 years old.
Well, if we protect him, man, see, thing is, that's why I'm saying, man. Look good and might feel good and shine up real good when you put some wax on it and all that.
Turn them lights on.
If you protect him with the weapons that we have right now, because see, and this is another thing too, Tidy, you don't have to worry about no quarterback coach. Not with Aaron Rodgers, you don't have to worry about no quarterback coach. Plus the fact he would be good for the receivers. He would be good for the receiver. Look, hey man, I'm gonna put this ball right here, or I'm gonna do this right here, and he'll do it. He'll do it. I put this ball right here. I do this and I do that, and y'all got to go get it.
Right.
Problem is this here, John. Is he gonna be here to work with these young receivers, or is he gonna be in Brazil somewhere throwing up, or somewhere in Hawaii hanging out with Shailene Woodley during the time where he's supposed to be working with these new and young receivers?
He gonna be hanging out. He ain't finna do no all-season workout with nobody.
That's one of the things. See, this is one of the things that you get clear before you sign the contract. Thing is, I understand exactly what you're saying. And thing is, if he doesn't commit the way that he needs to commit in order to make the team better, don't, bro. We do something else.
He wouldn't commit because unlike Tom Brady, he's
And
not
there's my
mentally
issue.
he's not mentally tough and as mentally committed as Tom Brady. Tom Brady worked like he is second string and he's 22 years old.
Yeah,
that's how Brady worked.
And there's my issue.
Yeah. See, valid issue. That's a valid issue. Y'all see. Well, I'm having that same problem out of my basketball team right now. They like the doggone want to fight 3 and 14 teams and slap folk all upside the head when they hit a 3-pointer over them and all that old stuff, and then end up losing the game. That man, y'all good, but you're not that doggone good, man. And oh boy. That's another.
They're another argument for another day. I've watched a few games. They're a whole other story for another day.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Tidy. Let's stick to this. I'm gonna stick to this.
You good? Well, let me ask y'all this: as we are talking about quarterbacks and our wide receiving weapons, like I talked about this a little earlier today. I think, like, in my opinion, I think next year, I don't know who's gonna be our starting quarterback. I have no idea at this point, but I think like next year, you gotta find a way to get Kyle Pitts back involved and to get Drake London back involved. If not, it makes it look like the leadership is a little bit incompetent because you took one guy at 4 and you took the other guy at 8, and they're not involved in your offense. So regardless of who is our quarterback next year, I don't know, but I think Arthur Smith got to figure out how he's going to get those guys back involved in the offense. That make any sense?
All the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
All the sense in the world. Because like you said, one guy at 4, the other guy at 8 overall. You didn't draft those guys to block.
Right. You didn't draft them to block. You could have took guys in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round to block.
Yeah, you drafted those guys to make a difference. So and that's the reason you have to get up to snuff quarterback play next year. If you think Mariota can take another step, I tell you one thing, you better be right. You better be right.
Right.
And my thing is, you plug these holes in the deep, because my thing is this here. I want them to plug the holes in the defense, and let's go and evaluate Desmond Ridder.
Do you start doing it this season? Like, if we get eliminated from the playoffs, do you do it this year? Or do you do it next game? Like, when do you think the proper time to do that? Because, like, personally, I wouldn't like to do that week 1 of next year. I want to see him on the field this year if we can.
If we get eliminated from playoff contention, but like Arthur Smith said, as long as we're in the playoff contention, Mariota's going to be the starter because he's experienced.
Yep.
Just that much. But if we get eliminated from playoff contention, let's go ahead and start the evaluation process. But as long as we are in contention, as much as I hate to say it, because I kind of want to see the kid too, but you just don't make the change. You don't pull the trigger.
I agree 100%.
Well, I got to say this. There's a way for you to put Mariota in. You need to give him some packages, just like New Orleans did with Taysom Hill, that he can run out there. Don't overload him, because, see, just like I said earlier in the conversation, you can't overload him at the beginning of the year next year. Can't do that. Then on top of that, Mariota in his position, Ridder in his position, there's no need for you to name either one of them the permanent starter, because both of y'all in the same boat. Ridder, you're a 3rd round draft pick. Mariota, you just coming off the bench from the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll use you as I see fit. If I want you in the game, you're going to be in the game. If I want you in the game, you're going to be in the game. And thing is that like I said, if you work this man in, like I said with Taysom Hill. Now, I think, well, let me finish this thought. You work him in like Taysom Hill. Give him some packages and definitely give him some throwing opportunities. Give him some throwing opportunities. You don't see your first read, throw it in the dirt. You don't see your first read, throw it in the stand. Do something. You know, because see, the thing is, as we just pointed out, you don't have no quarterback coach here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a quarterback coach here. So any reps he gets, that will help him more than anything else. Because see, you don't have anybody here that's qualified at the quarterback coach position. If that man is actually doing anything, that's going to teach this man anything. And I'm going to say it's the same thing with Mariota. Because if you don't have a quarterback coach for Ritter, you don't have a quarterback coach for Mariota either. You know, so that's what's hitting me in the face every Sunday. That's what's hitting me in the face every Sunday. Who is training? Who is teaching? Who is telling these people, Mariota, man, you're throwing high. Calm down. You know, you stop staring at the receiver before you throw it to him. You look in coverage right to the man while you staring at where you're getting ready to throw. The line is
feet set before you throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he got a big problem with that.
Let it go. Let it go. You know, I mean, this is what your quarterback coach, your head coach, since he's the offensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator, since he ain't doing nothing else, is supposed to be doing with these players. Y'all supposed to be working during practice so you don't have to work so hard during the game. You know, and now the problem and something else, Tidy, I have never seen Charles London down there sitting beside Marcus Mariota. I'm trying to figure out who this is sitting beside him.
I always see him talk to Coach Smith. That's the only person I see him converse with.
The only person I see him to talk Coach Smith.
Now, when he's sitting on the side, sometimes when he's Mariota goes back and sits down, there's a dude beside him with a headset on. Now, I don't know whether that's Ragone or who. I don't know who it is.
It may be Ragone.
But see, my thing is, isn't your quarterback coach will be down there with him?
Yeah, you would think.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I would think.
Yep.
You know,
yep.
And you looking at the Surface tablet too, looking at this and looking at that and all that type of stuff. Y'all discussing stuff. Your quarterback coach supposed to be down there. I'm just saying. So,
well, John, you got Matt Ryan probably retire at the end of this year. You can bring him back next year and be the QB coach in 2023.
This ought to be good.
You want to bring him back?
This ought to be good.
Oh, that was me that froze up. It wasn't the TV screen. That was me that froze up.
You want to bring on Matt Ryan back to coach?
Tidy, we trying to keep this a family show. In and listen and hear various things. You bring Matt Ryan won't come back here. Matt Ryan won't come back. And what is he gonna tell anybody? What is Matt Ryan gonna tell anybody? And see, okay. Now, since you brought that up, Ty, all right. The way that the salary cap was, and the way that the situation was prior to us trying to get Deshaun Watson. All right. Matt Ryan stays here this year. Matt Ryan stays. Let me see now. Next year, Ryan. We would have been able to trade him next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd have been a lot easier on the cap.
Okay. And see now, hey, and that's something else too, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching. Salary cap don't mean nothing. We $75 million screwed up in the salary cap.
And fair record.
I thought it was 80.
And
I thought it was 80.
Y'all might be 80.
I think it's 77 technically.
Man, you know that salary cap don't mean nothing. You can still put a football team out there that reasonably can do something. But thing is, the plan was at the 2021 draft a quarterback, let him sit behind Matt Ryan, which we thought we were saddled with, and then start him this year. Start him this year. See, when the Deshaun Watson situation came up, now you knew Matt Ryan wasn't going to stay. You know, that was a slap in the face. Oh, you know, whatever. And he had to go. All right. So that's why I was talking about paying a tight end starting quarterback money. That's why I was saying that, because now it's the money being paid is due to draft position. And, you know, I would always ask that question, is it draft position or is it field position? No, it's draft position.
Draft position.
So you paid a tight end quarterback money. All right. Didn't draft a quarterback in the later rounds that year. Didn't draft nobody. And you had about 12 or 13 quarterbacks already ready. Now, you could have had someone to take over. And you just never know how a quarterback's going to turn out. You just never know. Okay. They could be good. They could be bad. But coupled with the fact that you don't have a quarterback coach, we just messed up. I'm just saying. I mean, Ritter may never be ready. Okay, because you don't have anybody that's training. I don't care who you could have got or who you would have got. And see, the crazy part about it, Tidy, the Atlanta Falcons in their press release in the on the Falcons website, they gave Charles London, the quarterback coach, credit for what Matt Ryan did last year. I said, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding!" Now I don't. Now Matt Ryan is not my favorite quarterback, but I know better than that. What could you tell Matt Ryan, Charles London? You've been playing running back all your career. Oh Lord have mercy. So that's where I am with this. That's where I am with that.
So you think they're gonna make a change next year at the quarterback coach?
No, because I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because see, the thing is now you should have made one this year when you drafted a quarterback. I mean, come on, y'all tell me. I might be drinking too much, but y'all tell me. It just don't.
Here's something here. Is Arthur Smith coaching the quarterbacks?
I tend to say yeah, to be honest, man. The way he talks, I kind of think he is at practice. I think he's giving them more direction than any other coach on that in the facility.
Now, okay, when you say direction, what you mean?
Coaching, direction, things like that. I think he's working off camera. Let me say it like this: off camera, I think he works with the quarterbacks more than the quote unquote quarterback coach do.
Why?
I just think he's so hands-on offensively. I just think that's who he is. Even going back to Tennessee, I just think he's just hands-on with everything.
My thought as well.
But see, what you guys say may be true. Let's say it is. When it comes time to know how to throw a back shoulder fade, to you have to throw a back shoulder fade, to throw an out, to put just enough touch on the ball to where it clears the line of scrimmage and the first set of linebackers and drop it in where it needs to be. And this is just my feeling. Only a quarterback coach or a quarterback can teach you how to do that unless you go out and figure it out. That's why you have these quarterback schools and these quarterback training camps and stuff that they run. The man who trained Ritter, Palmer, he signed a deal to go to the XFL to train all of their quarterbacks from August until December. Okay. These people make a lot of money because they show quarterbacks how to throw certain passes, how to get more velocity on their pass, more distance on their pass. And that particular part, I'm asking, can Arthur Smith actually do that? Now, like you said, Tidy, he provide direction, say what it is that he wants, things of that sort. But the nuances of running the most important position on the football field and knowing how to throw, knowing how to time your throws, knowing where to place your throws, things of that sort. That's an applied expert science, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And thing is, can Arthur Smith do that? And now we've eliminated the quarterback coach. You ain't doing nothing. So now we got Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith, since you are coaching those quarterbacks, and for the sake of this conversation, Arthur Smith, since you're coaching these quarterbacks, why isn't Mariota any better? Because see, that's your responsibility, sir. If you the man, that's your responsibility. And see, some of the things that I see, that man ain't getting no training.
Yeah.
John, remember what I'm gonna go back to what you said. Now we still shopping at Dollar General,
God.
and Marcus Mariota was just about all we could afford, especially with the guy that just left taking up $40-some-odd million of the cap.
Mm-hmm.
So Arthur Smith had this. I think Arthur Smith went and got Marcus Mariota for familiarity, because of the familiarity with him.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he was supposed to be coaching him to be some kind of world beater at quarterback. I think he was just looking for somebody who he was familiar with, somebody who he wouldn't have to take too long to teach his system because he already knew.
Yeah.
So,
but the only thing about that, I see from time to time, I see little kernels, little facets of goodness in him. Because see, some of the throws that he has made from time to time, that man has made some heck of a throws from time to time, versus somebody who couldn't throw up if they had a stomachache. And that's just me. That's just me. And like you said, you're absolutely right.
But that's really just who Mariota is, though. Like, there's gonna be plays where it's gonna be like, man, this guy, he could potentially be a Pro Bowler one of these days. Yeah. There'll be times we like, this guy should be third string. That's just really who he is. He's been that way his entire NFL career. And that's why he went from the second pick in the draft to being a backup quarterback, because he just could never put it together consistently. He's always been consistently inconsistent. That's just who he is, and that's why he only cost $8 million this year.
Yeah,
I can sum up my feelings on Mariota. I can sum it up in one saying: a dead clock right twice a day.
And speaking of clock, fellas, we done came up almost about 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us out of here, man. I want to thank you both for joining. Appreciate you, David, for coming on the first time. Make sure to come back, brother. I love talking to you, John. You always welcome on the show. And also, John, I know you got on my ass a few days ago about not doing the grades, so I promise we're gonna do the grades tomorrow, bro.
You had a lot on you, Tiny. I understand, because see, man, I got
the grades.
Yeah, well, I miss them because thing is that's a lot of fun. But Tiny had reason. He had reason. He had to come in and bang on some folk, and he's deserved it. And I get on like that because just like a couple of days ago, I had to come over here and start fussing about these injury prone crap that people try to put on folk. And after this Hawks game, I'll probably be acting a fool there, and I posted here with your permission, Taddy. So.
Yeah, go ahead. You're free to do that, and I always watch on that YouTube channel too, so I'll be checking it out.
Yeah. Hey, boss man, what's your name?
Dave.
Hey man, nice to meet you. I really appreciate talking with you. Please
Yeah. I see you all the time, John.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, man, hey, you got to give old man a little slack, cause see, the years of walking me down, boss. But hey, like I said,
Hey, bro, don't let the boy's face in the bright eye fool you. I'm at 50 years old right now.
Hey, man, shoot, yeah, good looking 50. Good looking 50. All right, man.
All right, fellas. Hey, appreciate it again. I'll be back tomorrow with the grades, man, and we'll be back after next Sunday's game. Thank you for everybody watching YouTube, Facebook, in the chat. Toddy, John, David, we out. Peace.
Later.